Street Fair, Book 2 of the Fair Folk Chronicles, written by Jeffrey Cook and Catherine Perkins, narrated by Fairy Princess Lolly. Chapter 13, Recovery. Megan's voice cracked a little as she slumped, then sat down against the wall. Her latest attempt at singing had failed for the moment, but now it was just the pain and hoarseness, not like before, with the sheer silence seizing her throat. Lonnie passed her canteen of water, because of course she had canteens of water, for reasons of Lonnie. Everyone else gathered around, slumping or lying down in familiar states of injury and fatigue, though everyone was at least able to walk under their own power.
"Remember to drone a little on the M's and N's," Aisling said. "That always helps in these old-style songs. And don't try to get loud. You'll just strain yourself and it won't help."
Megan drank and then nodded. After a few more sips and a few more breaths, she started in again on the healing song. Some of the exhaustion faded, along with the magic taking the worst of the pain from the burns. Megan kept singing between water breaks. When she'd fully caught her own breath and let the minor healing effects take her own edge off, Lonnie slid closer to Megan, speaking quietly. "So what happened? You were doing great, and then—" "I don't know," Megan answered, pausing the song and taking another drink. "I was doing fine, really starting to feel it working, and then the song was just gone." "Gone? Like, how?" Rather than trying to explain, and seeing no harm in the effect, Megan started singing. The first few notes went over fine, and then her voice just disappeared, just as it had during the fight. Then she moved on, the song coming back, before disappearing again. "That's really weird." "Yeah," Megan said, her eyes slowly widening as her mind came together more. "Oh." "What is it?" Lonnie asked. "It's the F sharp. I can't sing the F sharp. Not in any octave. The doctor meant that really literally." "The doctor? At the market?" Lonnie groaned. "Megan, you didn't." "I did. But how does that even work?" "It doesn't matter how it works. The important part is that it does. You traded it away and might never get it back, which, among other things, means those songs are never going to work." "Among other things?" "I'm just saying, Megan, you need to be more careful. The things fairies consider to be commodities, you just need to be careful." "Okay, I get that this is bad. We're fighting magical undead things. But is there some other commodity that's really getting to you?" "Well, yes, okay? There is. Mac." "I'm not going to trade your brother for anything, Lonnie." "I know, he's a collector's item, you know? Humans and other folk having kids is one thing. The same two staying together long enough to have a second 10 years later is a unique rarity. A bright, energetic little rarity that thinks everything is awesome, and daisy chain necklaces are against the first grade dress code because I've asked, and Megan reached over and hugged Lonnie. She wasn't used to seeing the more focused girl talk this quickly and disjointedly. Lonnie seemed more worked up now than by the fact that they'd almost gotten killed. "I know the stories aren't just stories," Megan said carefully. She'd certainly learned a lot since making 80s movie baby-stealing jokes, and now she was pretty sure she'd avoid doing it again. "And I guess, yes, I wasn't very careful with that note. But I'm not going to let anyone hurt your brother, okay?" Lonnie looked miserable, but hugged Megan back. Megan kept an arm around Lonnie, and Aisling and the Count settled in to try to offer some comfort as well. Jude, limping and favoring one back leg, joined not long after. Megan continued the healing song, slowly feeling her own burns getting less intense, though they didn't fade entirely, while the others started showing more signs of life and wanting to move again. From her practice sessions, she was fairly certain healing was never going to be a strong point, but at least she could usually rest and focus while doing it. After resting, Justin settled in next to the others, lifting away a portion of his burned t-shirt to show a slight wound. Far more troubling than the faint burn mark, though, were several short, black lines extending out from it. Occasionally, one seemed to move just slightly. I didn't think it was more than a minor injury, but... Aisling gestured to the sword.
Press that against it.
There was a hissing noise as Justin did what she asked. When he drew the sword away, his skin was undamaged by contact with the flaming sword, and the black marks had disappeared, leaving only a clean cut in the skin. What happened?
Aisling spat. Faerie magic. For some of them, just throwing around fire, or lightning, or poisonous slugs wasn't enough. They had to make sure the survivors had parting gifts.
Poisonous slugs? Megan couldn't help but ask.
Egypt trademarked a lot of the snake magic, so they improvised,
Aisling answered matter-of-factly. Of course they did. And I guess, for Justin, the sword is faster. But what about the rest of us? Aisling frowned.
Well, some of you could borrow the scabbard and sword for a little bit. It might work okay, since you're only half fae. And then there's antidote magic.
Does that come in the bardic variety?
Well, sure, but...
Megan frowned. Don't tell me. That's only for Romanian bards. Or you need to buckle it on your horse the right way. Or something weird. This is serious. Aisling sighed, turning away to ruffle the Count's feathers, and Megan instantly regretted the comment. Aisling had just started reverting back to more typical responses after all her anger at the butterfly collector. I'm sorry. Aisling looked back and nodded.
I know. That's not it. The problem is, that song has some F sharps, too. I only know the one. Faerie magic is nasty stuff. Only so many ways around it.
Oh, it was all Megan could come up with. The climb back up was no more fun than the way down, but they ultimately decided that it beat trying to make their way through more magical traps. At least this time they were able to light their way, and had Justin lead the way with the sword, cutting through branches and roots as necessary. So, Kasha asked, once she verified that everyone, particularly both the cats, were safe beyond Jude's limb. He's dead. Or re-dead, or something, Megan volunteered, lifting the shroud they'd taken off the body. She explained the wards and the battle with the suits of armor. So can we not fight any more undead sorcerers, maybe? We probably shouldn't be fighting any more undead anythings, Lonnie said. We've gotten lucky twice. We should go tell your dad and let the experts handle this. Kasha frowned. You have an expert. You have the Clive Solish, and Sir Shyness there isn't too bad with it. We should do this. Aisling chipped in.
And this is all we have to find the butterfly collector. He's behind us. We have to hurry.
Why? Sure, he likely has a lot to do with causing the whites to stir, but is that even his intent? We can't exactly question them. What do we have to gain? Justin said, getting a nod from Lonnie.
Caw! Caw! The Count says that we might find more information that could hint at what he's up to.
And anyway, the longer we give them, the stronger the whites are going to get. We need to catch them while they're waking up and still getting reoriented, Kasha said. They looked pretty awake to me. That last guy had a lot of magic flying around, Megan said. And it would have been a lot worse if he'd had time to, say, enchant those guys with any kind of real commands, instead of puppeteering them, or to set a couple more traps and wards. These were the biggest badasses Baylor could find among mortals back in the day. I say we kill as many as we can now, then we go brag about it to Rick. That'll get his attention and get him on the case of hunting down the rest of them a lot faster than going and saying we couldn't hack it. The problem is, maybe we can't, Lonnie said. Like I said, we're getting lucky. A crew of redcaps or she-knights won't need luck. Yes, these guys are dangerous, but they don't have their armies this time. And they were mortals. Yes, Justin is good. Yes, we're pretty resourceful. But half of us aren't really combatants. This is serious. We need to get bigger guns on it. Bigger guns will take time, Kasia said. Especially unseelie big guns. I suppose you could always go to Orla. At least she'll take anything for Maury seriously.
I don't care if she takes it seriously, Aisling replied. She'll screw it up, or try to take advantage of it.
Justin looked at Megan. Whichever way you want to go, he said. I'll fight for you, and I'll do my best to protect you. But I'd counsel going to your father. This isn't safe. Megan sighed and looked at Justin, then Lonnie. I know this isn't safe. I know we probably should go back to my dad. But it does kind of feel like we need to hurry here. I say we keep going, but we'll try to be careful. We need to try to find this guy, though. After that, if we can figure out who he is, or where he is, we focus on that and leave the whites to Dad, Inwar, whoever, okay? With the concessions made, Lonnie elected not to argue further. All right, so where's the next one on the map?
Hello friends, this is Gunther Hammerhands. Thank you for checking out Fairy Princess Lolly's channel. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Use your troll hammer to ring that little bell icon to get notifications when she posts future videos. And if you'd like to support these magical creations, fly over to our Patreon and join the fairy family. Safe travels!